Yo, 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 what's good, beautiful people? Welcome to In God We Trust Academy podcast. And as always, we give thanks for each and every last one of your participation. You could be doing anything right now, but you're choosing to rock out with us. So as always, appreciate it. I hope everybody's having a great and beautiful day. Today, we're going to be covering discharging your mortgage. How do you do it? What is it? First and foremost, you got to read. You have to read your mortgage. If you don't read it, then you're not going to know what's happening. You also need to understand contract law, but we're going to dive deep into those things today. All right. And we're going to be here for approximately about an hour to spare with y'all right quick. Hour and 15 minutes. Shouldn't take that long. Hey. All right, guys. For those of you that don't know, we got work sessions starting back up tomorrow. So work session will be back up live Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. It is a free classes. Mondays and Wednesdays, you're able to attend. However, if you want to be a part of the actual, class and being able to see the documents or even receive the documents and replays, then you got to join the VIP. But other than that, you are more than welcome. What's going on, Tasha? How you doing? Tough. How you doing? Y'all doing out there? Where y'all tuning in from before we get started today? Where are y'all tuning in from today? Live in the flesh in Huntsville, Alabama is where I'm at today. What about you guys? What's up, Isaiah? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Been seeing that beautiful baby you've been posting up, though, bro. So, again, congratulations to you and your family. I also seen you had something for the kids or something you was doing. I don't know if it was a fundraiser or y'all just out having a good time, but that's what's up, bro. I like to see stuff like that, as always. So, Biloxi, Mississippi. Okay, you in Biloxi, man. If you in Biloxi, then come on down to Destin, Florida. Jacksonville, Florida. Come on down to Destin, Florida this weekend, this Saturday. If you can, come by and rock with me. I think you're probably about 3 hours away. Jacksonville, you're a little bit stretch off, but hey, anything's possible for somebody to want to be there. VA 757 Virginia, what's happening? 60-foot racing. Hey, now, what you know about that 60-foot? 60-foot is everything. You win it. If you can win at 60-foot and you got a little stretch on the end, you gonna win, huh? What's up, Octavia? How you doing? I wish I could. What's up, Stanley? Bro, you're supposed to be. I just literally called your wife to check on you, man. What you doing? You ain't supposed to be up watching me right now, bro. You supposed to be preparing. Matter of fact, we just gonna tell everybody, man, to send the prayers up for my brother. He's about to have emergency surgery today, man. So, bro, we gonna make sure that we keep you in our prayers. I know everything gonna go the way it's supposed to. And hey, be in good health, and when everything's done, bro, I'll be able to see you when I get back. But I'm sure gonna pull up on you to make sure you're good. Absolutely. All right, so let's jump into this, man, guys. Mortgage, man. Mortgage. Everybody got mortgages. Read your contracts. Read your freaking contracts. Everything that you guys hear from this point on is for education and religious purposes only. Anybody seeking any form of legal advice, please do seek a legal advisor, as it is my religious duty to speak my religious truth and experiences here with you guys today. All right. So let's just keep this simple as possible for the newbies or people who do not understand. First of all, you're going to be like, do I need to have a status correction in order to do discharge my mortgage? Do I need to have a status correction to discharge my mortgage? And the answer is no. Really, status correction, we've talked about this many a time, so you can go check out the videos on status correction for the past, I don't know, maybe week here. We've been on that. And you can go to In God We Trust Academy okay, on my Tube YT channel. I'm gonna say that there because they'll be saying that I'll be redirecting y'all to off the platform. So I'm not gonna say that. But you can go to our YT channel, okay, and check us out over there to see anything about that. Okay. Absolutely. I'll tell you what flag this is. It is the flag of Moorish National Republic of Peace, a micro tribal nation. Free and independent is what is a flag of. It's been established since 2024, 5 years in now, and still going, still kicking, right? Beautiful thing. We just celebrated June 19th, which is the day it was established. It was reformed February the 16th as well. So a lot of great things coming from that also. All right, so mortgages, guys. Contracts, no contract. Understand contract law. Every contract has to have consideration by both parties. Both parties must have consideration. There also must be signatures from both parties. In a lot of situations, there's just only your signature, which means that there was nobody in full agreement with you as all in all. Okay? In all. In all. Sunman, is it recognized by all nations? Soon, one day, it will be. But right now, it takes the people to first recognize themselves, as always. And anything that is ordained and established has been established by God. It's the most beautiful thing. But hey, don't worry about us. I promise you, we can take care of ourselves. We can handle ourselves. Yeah, self-determination, right to self-determination. But I promise you, we can definitely hold our own. Have been for 5 years now, and it's not an easy task because it's something new to everyone, something new that everybody should be doing. But at the same time, it's also something that, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of power. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of everything, man. So, yeah, but it's possible though. It's possible. It's just something you just, hey, it's a never-ending thing. You never give up. All right, so when it comes to your mortgage, guys, consideration, both parties, and these mortgages literally come with what also is a deed of trust. And these deed of trust is considered the security agreement, right? The actual security agreement. And the actual security agreement or security interest is the deed of trust. And it can never, ever, and I'm going to say this one more time, it can never, ever, 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 ever be separated from the promissory note. If they ever separate it, it is no longer considered a negotiable instrument because the only one that has a right to literally do or make a form of claim must have the actual note, okay? And if you don't have the actual note, then you do not have delegation of authority to make a claim, right? If they don't have the deed of trust, so let's say if they don't have the note, then they cannot do a foreclosure on you based upon your lack of paying because they don't have the note. If they don't have the deed of trust, then they still can't foreclosure on you because they don't have a right to the secured interest, which means the property. So if they ever separated, the right in that particular property is now lost, okay? This happens, but here's the thing. The people on the American soil of North America here do not read or truly understand their contracts. Right? Do not. So, what is a mortgage transaction? A standard mortgage is marketed to the public as a loan from a bank to a borrower. The public is led to believe that the bank is lending existing capital or lawful money. However, in truth, a mortgage transaction is construed using the borrower's promissory note as an asset, okay? A negotiable instrument under Article 3 of the UCC, which the bank deposit as an asset. Then the bank creates a deposit credit from that asset and returns it to the borrower as a loan. charging interest on funds that did not exist until the borrower signed the note. Here's the thing. The way that FRNs are printed on a daily basis is by these particular instruments that are going to be literally sold on the market, but every new deposit, it's what you call fractional reserve banking. So the fact that you deposited a $80,000 note, okay, a promissory note, you deposited an $80,000 promissory note. It's no difference than you depositing $80,000 in cash. They're literally the same exact thing. Okay, so an $80,000 promissory note is equivalent to $80,000 in cash. And if you deposit those things, that $80,000 has the right to create almost about roughly $600,000 to $700,000. Okay, and I'm saying that because it's called fractional reserve banking. So literally, if you put 100 in, they can create up to 1,000. That's $900 in equity. That's fractional reserve banking. This is what happens. This is how money is put into the economy, literally by you guys. That's why they will never turn you down, okay, from getting credit. Now, I'm not saying that they won't turn you down for the amount of credit you want, but you definitely, if you ain't got no credit or bad credit, you can go get $200. You can go do a secure interest to receive credit. You can do something of that nature. Credit will always be available, is my point. Because if they stop doing it, then that means it's not going to be any money placed into the economy. So they have to continue this form of what we call a debt cycle. All right. So this means that the bank do not lend its own money, nor did it risk its own capital. So that means they have no consideration. If they don't lend their own money, which they can't, they banned from that by law, okay? And it did not risk its own capital. So instead, the bank monetized your promissory note along with your signature and funded the so-called loan with the borrower's own credit, then created a secure obligation to pay it back. That is not a loan. That is a reverse credit transaction. And what you have here is this. The thing about it is this, like when the note has been created and they go and they get that money, right? And they bring it to you. Now the bank is only acting as what we call a middleman. So that's why we call the bank security intermediaries, because they just the middleman between ourselves, okay, the people, and the Federal Reserve Bank. That's all they're doing is making sure that the money that we are going to create, et cetera, is going through the clearinghousing of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve kicks back down that money to the actual corporation. It goes on their liability side. They have to do accounts payable, and they need to pay you. All right. Now, the main thing about this is we have to know it's not a loan. 3-104 defines a negotiable instrument as an unconditional promise or order to pay a fixed amount of money. A promissory note, when signed and delivered, meets the definition and carries value in commerce. Well, your $1 bill says the same thing. It says it's a note. It has signatures. They offered to pay you something back of lawful money at the particular time. They took that away. So now they just gave you in consideration that the actual dollar is now considered to is considered to be legal tender. Alicia, just send us an email. Send another email so I know it's you, and just put your name on there. All right, so the promissory note family is the source of value. So under GAAP, which is GAAP, the bank books the borrower's signed promissory note as receivable, meaning as an asset that represents future income. This booking entry immediately increases the bank asset column, okay? The bank then creates a corresponding liability by issuing a deposit or draft to the borrower. This is the process of credit creation. The value of the mortgage transaction was created by the borrower's own promise to pay, not by any money the bank actually loaned. And this makes the borrower the true creditor in substance and the bank merely a facilitator middleman, for those who don't understand, of a commercial exchange. And that's it. Okay? Now, according to Bank Officers Handbook of Commercial Banking Law, negotiable instruments are routinely used as instruments of value, and the rights of the parties to such instruments are governed by Article 3 and Article 4. All contracts have to have mutual consideration. So a contract is not valid unless it involves lawful consideration from both parties. It's in typical mortgage, the borrower gives a security. So in this particular place, you're going to give the house as a security interest in property plus the promise to pay. But the bank gives you nothing, no lawful consideration. Instead, the bank gives a check or electronic funds, which it created from the borrower's own note, is void or voidable due to lack of real exchange. The law does not permit one party to generate a debt obligation from the other party's own credit and then claim the right to foreclosure or repossess property when the original consideration was never fulfilled, which is literally, guys, I mean, if you look at it from that point, it's unjust enrichment. That's what we have here. What's up, Planet Wiz? I ain't forgot about you either, bro. I'll get to you for sure. It's unjust enrichment. So let's make sure we got a full understanding that we know what unjust enrichment is. Okay? And in this unjust enrichment, it's basically somebody doing something fraudulent activity and making all the daggone money, and you didn't get nothing. And we have to stop that. Okay? So when we look at it from that point, we know they never gave you any money. Consideration must be lawful substance, not mere accounting entries. A promise to repay must be matched with lawful advance of value. Now, consideration must be lawful substance, not mere accounting entries. So we know in 1933, Congress suspended the gold standard and declared debts could no longer be repaid in gold or silver. From that point forward, all debts in the United States have been discharged rather than paid. Discharge is a lawful method to settle obligations using instruments of credit, including commercial paper set off lawful tender under the UCC. So when banks demand repayment in FRNs, they are demanding more of the same credit they created using signature. But however, FRNs are still considered a form of legal tender and also equivalent to any other currency that may be floating within the United States. Okay, let's just say that. So it's equivalent. You guys can stop trying to say this and that about it because it's still equivalent, no matter what. Okay, you are entitled to a lawfully tendered a counter instrument to discharge the obligation. So you are entitled to lawfully tender a counter instrument to discharge the obligation. Tender a payment of an obligation to pay an instrument, discharge the obligation to the extent of the amount of the tender. This means that if your tender lawful value through a negotiable instrument, the obligation is extinguished. So let me break this down to you. The truth is this, guys. This whole entire system is to challenge the ignorance of the people. Okay? The only reason this is happening to us is because the people are ignorant of law. Okay? You have no idea that there is literally no consideration with these banks. And since you don't know how everything operates from the federal, because all of these banks are considered banks who are shareholders of one of the 12 Federal Reserve banks, right? And it's not a share that they can go sell or anything like that. It's just the ability for them to act as security intermediaries and operate between the people and the Federal Reserve, right? So when we look at it from that point, we have to know that, well, we're being cheated. And this system is going to continue to carry on until the people literally recognize exactly what's going on and actually do something about it. It's okay for me to know. It's okay for the few people here watching. It's okay for y'all to know. It's okay for y'all to go and sue and all of that type of stuff because they still got another individual out there right now that's signing a mortgage today or an auto loan today, and they don't know anything about their contract. So they just created some more money in the midst of us talking right here, right? This is a constant thing that's going over and over. So even though I guarantee you Bank of America is being sued in somebody's court today, but also somebody sitting at Bank of America right now, and they are literally signing the contract, right? So they still create money no matter what. They still creating that money. So we know that the note is a negotiable instrument. Key word, negotiable. Negotiable means that it's able to be transferred and or assigned. Okay? It means it's able to be transferred. To negotiate a instrument is literally to know to transfer it. Okay? I don't know tomorrow. It might be your what's the name? Everybody else say they good. But it can only be transferred, right? So here's the thing. If you separate the note and the deed of trust, it's no longer transferable, okay? Because they are together. So if you separate them, then they cannot no longer work in the way that they were put together anymore, okay? No longer. The mortgage note the borrower signed meets all of these conditions. It meets the conditions of a written and signed promise or order to pay, unconditional. Is it a fixed amount of money? Is it payable demand on a definite time? And is it payable to a bearer or order? All right. And this is a form of a commercial paper that carries inherent value and can be sold, transferred. That's the negotiable part. It can be sold. It can be transferred, posited. It can be pledged, whatever the case may be, right? That's what makes it negotiable. Okay, a non-negotiable instrument, meaning that if I put something that says pay to the order of John H. Doe, that is a non-negotiable instrument because it first has to go to John H. Doe. The only one that has the power to negotiate it is John H. Doe. So now, when John H. Doe receives the negotiable instrument, he's able to transfer it to whoever he wants. So that's the reason why I could receive a check in my name, and I could then put, okay, I could take it. Let's say I owe John H. Doe some money. So $250 check. I got the check. It was paid to the order of myself. I turn around on the back of it, and then I'll put pay to the order of John H. Doe. I just transferred a negotiable instrument. Okay? That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, right? So the note is treated as money by the bank. I told you, the note is equivalent to cash. The note is equivalent to cash. Once the bank books the promissory note, it uses its issue as a deposit account, loan account, or draft to the borrower, and the process transferring the borrower's promise to pay into a funding mechanism. The bank becomes a holder and it securitizes the note. Okay? It's definitely going to securitize the note. And once this occurs, the originating bank no longer retains the risk of loss and no longer holds the obligation. And this raises serious question about who truly owns the mortgage and whether the originating party has standing to collect or foreclose. Again, only the note is being transferred. Okay? Only the note. So, and what I'm going to say to you guys today is stop waiting on these folks to start to threaten you. Why y'all letting them threaten you? Why don't you jump ahead of the situation and we're going to jump out there and we finna go directly at them to get everything that we need to create evidence so we can take their ass to court and win. Because they are wrong. Every mortgage contract is literally fraudulent. The only thing is you haven't figured it out. And once you figure it out, it's not voidable. It's already void. Right? Okay? So, when the borrower created the asset, they retained the right to lawfully tender a counter instrument, such as a bond or a draft to discharge the obligation under UCC 3-603. A proper tender of payment discharges the obligation, even if the party refused to accept it so long as the tender we made in accordance with law. Now, I always said this too. If a promissory note started and created the credit, then another promissory note can also discharge, set off, whatever you want to say, the credit as well. But there's many different ways that we could do this. Okay? There's many different ways. Yes, you can do this without even having to be in foreclosure. What y'all guys got to know is this. All right. Let's just say, I'm going to give you one way right now. Let's just say, for instance, right now, you decided that, I'm finna do me a payment today in accord and satisfaction. And you write down, you make your same payment that you've been making on your mortgage, right? No difference. And you write out a full letter letting them know that this payment is intended for full satisfaction of all obligations, okay? And paid in full, pretty much, right? Full satisfaction of all obligations. So this is accord and satisfaction, okay? And full payment of all obligations, right? So if we put that also on the particular instrument, you send a letter in with it, and they deposit it, you win. And here's the thing about America. America has so much greed and money, man. They don't care about what y'all say. That's the same way I got my Mustang. Same thing. $25. A $25 check turned into a title. Literally because I followed the letter of law. It's strategic. It's strategy. Bro, they gonna deposit any and everything you send in there because that's all they do. They so used to doing things the way they do, and it's just money. That's one thing, right? But also, we can also create another promissory note. We could do private administration things to get the actual mortgage dismissed, and that's based upon asking certain questions. Remember that the secure party is subject to all claims of the debtor. Let's remember that first, okay? The secure party is subject to all claims. All, not some, but all. Okay? Now, number one rule in business is communication and transparency. There can be nothing that has not been disclosed to you. Everything within that contract has to fully be disclosed. Okay? If it's not, we are dealing with a violation, a breach, fraudulent contract, misrepresentation, all kind of different things. And they wanted you to act upon those things. Okay? They wanted you to act on those things. Now, what you need to do is, in my private administration class, is very simple. Communication. Communicate. Okay? Ask. I want a full accounting of the notes and a chain of title, okay, of the note and deed of trust. I just want a full accounting. I just want to know how many times it's been securitized, who's been transferred, whatever, because I need a full understanding here, right? And this is called notice. We can do a notice of adequate assurance. A notice of adequate assurance is to make sure that we still in full agreement, everything is going the way it's supposed to, and nothing can take place until you prove to me that I am assured. Okay? Do y'all understand that? Drop some ones if you do. So a notice of adequate assurance, they have to answer. Notice of adequate assurance. Right to adequate assurance of performance, UCC 2-609. Okay? Contract for sale imposes an obligation on each party that the other's expectations of receiving due performance will not be impaired. When reasonable grounds for insecurity arise with respect to the performance of either party, the other may in writing demand adequate assurance of due performance, and until he receives such assurance, may, if commercially reasonable, suspend any performance for which he has not already received the agreed in return. Do I need to read that again? It also says in section 2, between merchants, the reasonableness of grounds for insecurity and the adequacy of any assurance offered shall be determined according to commercial standards. Acceptance. Okay, so what does it mean according to commercial standards? Easy. I'm going to show you this. The next one says acceptance of any improper delivery or payment does not prejudice the aggrieved party's right to demand adequate assurance of future performance. So acceptance of any improper delivery, okay, or payment does not prejudice the aggrieved parties to the right to demand adequate assurance of future performance. After receipt of justified demand, failure to provide with a reasonable time not exceeding 30 days such assurance of due performance as is adequate under circumstances of this particular case is repudiation of the contract. I'm not reading from a book. I'm reading from UCC 2-609 right now. All right. So now what did it mean by commercial standards? Okay, easy. Let's go to UCC Article 3. And then we're going to go to 310. Let's see. 306 is claim of instrument, value consideration. 302. We're going to go to 302 first. 302. So 302 says the holder in due course. Okay, means the holder of an instrument. If the instrument, when issued or negotiated, transferred, okay, anytime you hear negotiation and something has been negotiated in commerce, it means transferred. So issued or transferred to the holder does not bear such apparent evidence of forgery or alteration, is not otherwise so irregular or incomplete as to call into question in its authenticity, and the holder took the instrument for value in good faith without notice that the instrument is overdue or has been dishonored, or that there is an uncured default with respect to the payment of another instrument issued as part of the same series, right? So notice of discharge as well. So there is a consideration. If the person entitled to enforce an instrument has only a security interest in the instrument, and the person obligated to pay the instrument has a defense, which means a claim in recoupment or a claim to the instrument that may be asserted against the person who granted the security interest, the person entitled to enforce the instrument may assert his rights as holder in due course only to an amount payable under the instrument, which at the time of the enforcement of the instrument does not exceed the amount of unpaid obligation secured. So therefore, they have to have the instrument, family. Got to have it. Okay? They got to have it. Claims to an instrument. A person taking an instrument other than a person having a rights of holder in due course is subject to a claim of a property or possessory right in the instrument or its proceeds, including a claim to rescind a negotiation and to recover the instrument or its proceeds. A person having rights of a holder in due course takes free of the claim to the instrument. So you got to be the holder in due course. That's the number one thing. So remember, they're going to separate it. UCC 3-301, person entitled to enforce an instrument means the holder of the instrument. Listen to what I'm saying to you guys. Just listen. They have to be the holder of the instrument. Okay? Then it says number 2, a non-holder in possession of the instrument who has the rights of a holder, or a person not in possession of the instrument who is entitled to enforce the instrument pursuant to Section 3-309. We're going to go read that. And a person may be a person entitled to enforce the instrument even though the person is not the owner of the instrument or is in wrongful possession of the instrument, right? Still, got to be the holder in due course. Holder of the instrument. Unless there has been some assignment for someone else to hold the instrument for you and you still keeping all rights and interests to it, then something of that nature could be done. What was that? I said 309. Enforcement of lost, destroyed, or stolen instrument. So it could be lost, destroyed, whatever the case may be. But here's the thing. UCC 3-604 says this. A person entitled to enforce an instrument with or without consideration may discharge the obligation of a party to pay the instrument, okay, by an intentional voluntary act such as surrender of the instrument to the party, okay? Destruction of humiliation. So now you got to understand this, guys. All y'all ask for them to send you the original note, they're never going to do that. Because if they do that, that is a voluntary act of discharge, right? Destruction. Now, this is what we're going to focus on. Destruction. Mutilation or cancellation of the instrument, cancellation or striking out the party's signature, or the addition of the words to the instrument indicating discharge, or by agreeing not to sue or otherwise renouncing rights. Then you got canceling or striking out endorsements as well. But destruction, it is no longer negotiable. So remember, we are under Article 3 speaking on this and the negotiable instrument. It is no longer negotiable if you separate the note and the actual secured interest, which is the deed of trust in this particular situation. That's the reason why we have to demand a chain of title. We want to see a full chain of title so we can understand the nature of who has the deed of trust, who has the actual the note, right? I want to be able to fully read the assignment because I want to make sure that if I'm making payments, the proper payments is going to the correct place and things of that nature. And this actual entity has the right to actually seek any form of payment or obligations based upon the right of enforcement of an instrument. So know that. That is something that you definitely need to know. Okay? Discharge. So there's many different ways we could discharge this, but for the most part, communication is key. Okay? Communication is key, family. We really want to be able to, like I said, send a notice of adequate assurance because we want to know fully where is the note. We have a right to know that. We have a right to know any and all transaction that has been done with the note and also with the actual with the deed of trust. We want a full chain of title of that. And if we cannot be given that, well, that's where we win. If they fail to give you this, if they just start sending y'all just bullshit, right? And just making, threats of all kind of stuff, right? Man, listen, if you don't hurry up and get in a court, and I mean hurry up and get in a court, right? Get in a court immediately. And get there, and we're going to do what we call an injunction. Yeah, we're going to do an injunction. We're not even going to wait. Okay? What are we waiting for? You want them to threaten you and start this process on you? No, we finna start it on them. We're going to beat them to it because we've already asked for everything. So make sure you keep up with your notice of adequate assurance. You asking for these particular things that you want to be given to you in your form of production to ensure. We don't have to ask for the original note. I know a lot of people say, hey, send me the original note. They're not going to do that because if they do that, as I just showed you, that literally means that this is a voluntary act of a discharge. So they ain't going to send you the original of anything just through the mail. It's not going to happen that way. Now, they have to bring that to court as evidence and allow you to examine it to make sure it's your signatures and stuff like that has been placed up on it. There's no form of forged signatures or anything like that that's going on or, robust signing and stuff like that, right? That's what I'm trying to get across to you guys. But what we can do is demand the actual chain of title. We want to see that in every shape, form. They have to show it to us. So pretty much this is like what you call a securitization audit. Because the securitization audit is just the transfer and the sale of the notes and who it went to. So that's what we want to. And we have a right to see that so we can understand the nature of our course of business here. If they do not provide that, then guess what? They got 30 days to assure us. 30 days. 30 days, family. That's all they got. 30 days, according to UCC 2-609. 30 days. Right? After 30 days, then I'm going to the court. Injunction. And if they try to do something to you before within that 30 days, then automatically we're going to say injunction. If you are in a non-judicial state, then you receive a threatening or letter of foreclosure, you need to immediately get that to an injunction, a writ of injunction. Get to it. All right, in the county court of where the property is. Don't waste your time. All right? Because you got all your evidence. The adequate assurance is evidence of your communication. You also can have evidence of what they sent you. Okay? And once you get the full evidence of everything they sent you, now it's time for us to do the injunction. Because the only thing we can say is, hey, I sent this notice of adequate assurance for this particular reason and for these things to be made known to myself, disclosed fully to me, and so that I can understand the nature of our course of business and just be assured that everything is going to according to the contracts that we have signed, right? And it was not mentioned to you that there was any securitization that was going to be going on. You was going to have another party trying to receive anything from you or things of that nature, right? And here's the evidence of what they sent. And they could say they might send a letter saying something crazy. That's your evidence, though. Because if what they put or what they send back to you is not answering anything that you put in that adequate assurance, then that's in your favor. Okay? That's fully in your favor. So how is it in your favor, you would ask? Well, okay, you just got evidence that they never assured you. They never answered you correctly. They never disclosed the things that you need to be disclosed to you to make them know that they are the person that has the person entitled to enforcement of the instrument. Okay, and now we're going to be able to see two things. We're going to be able to see where the note went and where the deed of trust still is, the secured interest, right? If they're not with the same party, And so how are you going to be able to tell that? Easy, because on the note, it's going to have about 5 or 6 different stamps from different banks saying transfer for value received and, pay to the order of whoever they're going to transfer it to next, right? Whatever bank that they're transferring it to next. You're going to see about 3 or 4 on there, all right? So now these particular people have one thing to do. We can go right down to the county. We can print out the last deed of trust that was filed for that particular home, and the party that is having the negotiable instrument, let's say the party that claims they have the right to the negotiable instrument, if they're going to literally make a claim, then they also should have filed a new deed of trust showing that they have the secured interest in it. Guess what? It ain't going to be there. They don't do that type of stuff until you start falling into the format of foreclosing. Then they'll run down there and go do all that stuff, and then they try to come. Oh, you can catch them right now. Yeah, you can catch these people right now. Okay? Right now. Do you have sample letters in your books on your website? No, I do not, but it will be in the trust administration class. So if you got the trust administration class, this is going to be part of it. It's going to be in there. Actually, everything I've been talking to you guys from the past month is what's going to be discovered in this class. But however, it's just you knowing. We can go down there to the county right now. Get that deed of trust. Go down there and see it. Go see who was the last. Yes. Then all you have to do is go. Make sure we do the chain of title of the note. So now they got to show us how many times that note been transferred. If they do not send that to you, you win. There is no proof of anybody having the power or the delegation of authority to bring a claim against you. So let's just go stop this mess right now. Now, not only that, when we get in court, we're not just going to say that. We also want them to prove consideration. Prove it. I want you to prove you gave me some money. So, in my mastering lawsuit class, Defend and Conquer for foreclosures, which you can use this before foreclosure. You don't have to wait till they do, but you can. Beat them to the punch. And for me, it's like, why not beat them to the punch? I mean, we already got everything anyway. So let's just beat them to the punch. All day long, family. So we got different things that we can use. And the first thing that we're going to use in our injunction is, one, we're going to make our claim. And we're going to do subpoena or summons the party. Suppose it hasn't been transferred but one time. If that's the case, if it's been shared one time, if it's been transferred one time, that party needs to still make sure they have a deed of trust. Because if they haven't redone the deed of trust as well, then it's over. Right? And not only that, they're supposed to perfect the actual note. So the bank, every bank that has something to deal with the note, literally is supposed to go perfect the note through a financing statement on the UCC-1. They don't do that. The deed of trust only perfects the claim in the actual property of the house. It does not perfect the claim on the instrument to perfect the lien. It don't. So they need to be able to make sure they do that as well. But the point is like, once you do your petition for your court, again, guys, you need to know how to operate through the court. And the way to operate through the court is to understand that, number one, your complaint starts off as a form of an affidavit, form of evidence that you put with it, and et cetera, right? And now you want the other party to be able to come answer. The party is going to answer you in certain ways, whatever they may say or think they're going to say. But let's just get to the next part. And the next part is production. Because we ain't going to play the game of, oh, well, we got this. No, we're going to ask you to produce it. So I have a motion for production for you to produce. Now you have to bring the original note to court. You have to bring it. Ain't no copies in here. You got to bring that note, the original note, and you also have to bring the original deed of trust. They have to bring it. Okay? Make sure we specify that, because this evidence is very detrimental to your claim. We don't need copies because we don't know if the copies are considered to be certified coming from the original, unless the original is sitting beside the copies. That's the only way we can tell. I can send every last one of y'all something and say, hey, this is a copy of this. And the whole time, it's like, this ain't no copy of no original until you've seen the original. How you even know? We can come and bring you a copy of what we say, man, this is a copy of an ancient artifact. And if you ain't never seen that artifact, then how the hell you even know it's a copy? Or if it's the original, you don't know. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to lay your eyes or have that in evidence, right? We need that. Okay? Because we want to make sure we don't suffer any form of irreparable harm, because that's exactly what will happen. So make them bring that to the courts. Motion of production. Come produce the chain of title. Come produce the original deed of trust as well, and show that it has been transferred and assigned to the one who is here or been trying to make these threats and claims against you. I want that to stop. Now, if you've been listening to me, I done told you about 2 to 3 different ways right now. Motion of discovery, right? Yes, absolutely. 2 to 3 different ways right now. Okay? But if you know that they actually threatening you for certain things, if you know that they sending you threats and you in a non-judicial state, don't wait on them to go to court. You go to court first. You go and do an immediate injunction. You have to learn the law and the rule of law and the letter of the law in order to exercise these remedies for you. So we would literally request the original ink, the original mortgage agreement, which is the actual deed of trust. We want all endorsements, assignments, or transfers of the promissory note, and we want all endorsements, assignment, or transfers of the mortgage. That's going to allow us to see the full chain of title, because now this is going to tell if the one who's making all these threats, barking at you, do they have the power to do so or enforce the instrument that they don't even have, right? Now, we can also do some interrogatories, so we can state the full legal name, job title, and contact information of the individual answering the interrogatories. We want all persons identified with personal knowledge of facts alleged in the complaint, and we want to state the full chain of ownership for the promissory note, including all entities that have held the note since origination. And we want to describe the method by which, okay, whoever's making the claim received possession of the promissory note and mortgage. We want to list all payments received, okay? Not just from the defendant, but we want to know all payments received from those who have been discounted on the note. We want to see that too. We want to see all of it. We ain't leaving out nothing. So if they fail to your discovery request, we can do a motion to compel. If they fail to produce the original documents, we literally move for dismissal for lack of standing, right? Literally. We want to ensure all objections are preserved on the record. This method is not hard, fam. I promise it's not. But we're going to make everybody prove everything. Everything. Okay? Everybody got to prove it. Now, one way was I said that you can operate. You can literally create another promissory note. And no, I don't mean go put somebody else's name and all of that. It's literally a promissory note, something that you promised to pay in an unconditional order. You can literally say, if you have a trust, you can create this promissory note coming from your trust because your trust has assets and it can literally pay for things, etc. Right? But anyway, you can do that. Give them another promissory note as a counter instrument. And then you put pay to the order of whoever the particular company is that wants it. Allow them to take their promissory note and send it off to the Federal Reserve Bank. Or, okay, if you send a promissory note, which is a unconditional order, and let me help y'all out because I don't think y'all understand what I'm saying. Let me help you out a little bit more. All right. Literally, a promissory note. A promissory note will have this in it. Lawful promissory notes. It'll say for value received, the undersigned, and then you'll put the full legal name of the trustee or grantor in their authorized capacity as grantor and registered owner of put the trust located, put the trust address, hereby promise to pay to the order of, you'll put the mortgage holder name or the actual holder in due course, the sum of, put the full amount of the actual loan, and or before, then you can put the maturity date or right on demand, okay? This note is tendered as lawful instrument of discharge and satisfaction of any and all outstanding obligations related to the mortgage deed of trust, originally executed on whatever that date that was, recorded in the county. You'll put that in there under document number, put the recording number. This discharge is made by a lawful creator of the original value without reliance upon further loan, credit, or banking liability. Okay? All right? Now, payment in lawful money. We're going to make sure is that there's no recreation of debt. This instrument shall not be construed as a renewal or novation of any debt, but rather as a lawful and full discharge of all outstanding balances, obligations, or liens arising from the aforementioned mortgage. Okay, so let me help explain this to you guys. when it comes to God, man, what did we do? We broke the freaking covenant. Yeah, we broke the covenant, right? So, what did God do in order to discharge or settle everything of the first covenant? Let me ask y'all that. What did God do? Because this is the first covenant, which is the mortgage. So, what do we do to settle for that? Because a mortgage debt is a debt of sin. Sin and debt are the same. So how do we remove ourselves and relinquish ourselves from sin? How do we be redeemed? How do we receive salvation? He paid it. He forgave it. What God did first was he established another covenant. The second covenant that he said, I will make with my people. The second covenant. Okay? So that one promise was made. We destroyed that damn contract. And God said, okay, well, I'm going to do another covenant, another promise to you that will erase everything from the other promise. So let's just do that thing of what our Father in heaven has done, which is literally create a new covenant here. So we're going to establish a new promissory note. But this promissory note is not to be paid to you at all. It is literally to be paid to the bank. Now, think about it. If your promissory note was good enough to establish this credit, interest, and everything else, right, it should also be good enough to do the same exact thing to clear out the debt. And you don't even receive or touch the money. You are allowing them to use an asset, again, to literally be created to set off whatever it is that you have going on with them, right? So this is no recreation of debt, guys. The holding in due course of this note is deemed the holding in due course under UCC 3-302, entitled to enforce the instrument in good faith. And this note is issued and tendered in full and accord and satisfaction of any outstanding financial obligations associated with the reference mortgage agreement, pursuant to UCC 3-603, which means that if you refuse to accept it, because this is a lawful tender, it has everything according to what a negotiable instrument is supposed to be, and it constitutes the discharge to the extent of the offers. So this tendered discharge is made in accordance with equity and conscience and may be enforced by affidavit, recording, or judicial remedy where necessary. Equity awards a forfeiture, right? So now we just send an affidavit of tender and discharge to them, letting them know we're going to discharge it. We can also put a notice of satisfaction of discharge along with that, and we're done. And we can also send a lien release demand as well. And then we can also, if we need to, we can do a complaint with the quiet title. That's one way. Just told you one way right there. The other way is literally you can do an accord of satisfaction, the same as here. Pay it like you've been paying it. Go get a money order. Pay the full amount like you pay your mortgage. Literally write that this is accord of satisfaction for all debt, etc. Put those things in there and then send it to them. They're going to file it. They're going to deposit it. And when they deposit it, you should know that it's paid. Are they going to come after you still? Absolutely. Yes, they are. But that means now you need to know how to go into court and establish that they accept the full accord and satisfaction of any and all obligations. They accepted that, and it was deposited. We can prove that in court. How do we prove it? Well, tell them to first send you records of payments. They send you records of payments. They're going to show that you paid with that money order, that they accepted it. It's going to be on there, same as I did. It's going to show it, that they deposited. And if that, then you can also take that money order. You can search it on the USPS website or wherever you got the money order form to show that it was cash. And there you go. It's done. It's done. Now you just need to go and show proof of evidence that everything is done and that they accepted those things, right? That's another way. The other thing is just let's just go straight to court. Money order for how much? Literally, if I was you, I would just keep in doing what you've been doing. Pay it for the same amount you've been paying. If you're gonna pay, if your mortgage is $500, then pay the full $500. But just make sure you write the certain things on there that governs the instrument, because what you write on there governs that particular instrument, and how they accept it is also if they deposit it or do anything like that, they accept it under the terms that the instrument is being governed under. So that's another thing. That's another thing for you guys to understand. So, and like I said, the rest is just you're going to be dealing with the situation in a foreclosure matter. So now you need to know how to operate fully within the court to make them have to produce on the record for the record of everything that you're wanting and trying to do. Right? It's a must. It's a must. All right? It's a must. So literally everything I just told you today, and I did not leave out not one thing. I ain't leave out nothing. You can listen to me. Go research it yourself. That's the number one thing. Go and do the research about what I've been saying today yourself. Okay? Research it. Don't forget to follow us on our Tube channel, In God We Trust Academy. Does the letter have to be sent with the money order? Absolutely. Send them together. Let's go read it. You want to read what UCC say? About not adequate assurance, but accord of satisfaction? It's UCC 3-311. Accord of satisfaction by use of instrument. So if a person against whom a claim is asserted proves that the person in good faith tendered the instrument to the claimant's full satisfaction of the claim, the amount of the claim was unliquidated or subject to a bona fide dispute, the claimant obtained payment of instrument, the following subsections apply. So what needs to happen is this. A claim is discharged if the person against whom the claim is asserted proves that within a reasonable time before collection of the instrument was initiated, the claimant or an agent of the claimant having direct responsibility with respect to the dispute obligation knew that the instrument was tendered in full satisfaction of the claim. Right? You knew it. So that's why I say send a letter with them, because it was sent, and, you know, whether they paid attention or not, it's totally up to them. It's totally up to them. I'm trying to see. Let's see if I can find one for you guys. Or what I did before. Simply the same thing. So you just need to send a letter to them. Come on, man. I just want the accord of satisfaction. That's one for the courts. Okay. So it could literally just say that I, John H. Doe, hereby submit notice of accordance full satisfaction to formally amend and settle the terms of the original loan agreement associated with loan account number regarding whatever vehicle. This document serves as a lawful notice to satisfy the obligation through modified terms in accordance with federal law, established case law, and accord of satisfaction. This notice serves as an alternative settlement method to discharge all debt obligations under the loan agreement. Upon acceptance by whoever, this alternative payment method will fully satisfy the debt. To demonstrate good faith, I am including a payment of whatever the amount via United States Postal Money Order. This payment is made in lawful money. Acceptance of this payment as lawful money acknowledges that the bank agreement that this is part of the full satisfaction of the loan obligation here. And then now these are literally the supporting cases. I want y'all to listen to what they say. And this is the reason why a court of satisfaction works, right? Just listen. Intent of receiving party. The receiving party intent is irrelevant for accord and satisfaction. So their intent of why they receive it, it's irrelevant. Who cares? You received it, you took it, cashed it. Words of protest. Protesting words from receiving party do not alter the effectiveness of accord and satisfaction. So after they cashed it, there's nothing that you can say or protest to say. Obliterating or wiping out verbiage. So if they was to wipe out, try to argue, alter any of that, it does not void the principles of accord and satisfaction. Also, failure to notice, acknowledge, or understand. If the receiving party fails to notice, acknowledge, or understand the verbiage, it does not change the provisions of accord and satisfaction because ignorance of the law is inexcusable. So you can send it. They can be like, oh, well, I ain't know what that means. We just cashed it anyway because you owed us. Okay. That means you agree to the freaking terms. Let's go. We're going straight to court. Right? Straight. So now we literally, John H. Doe, the grantor and registered owner of the promissory note associated with this loan, the note represents an asset generated by the signature and credit. The bank, having functioned as a trustee, have used my note to produce loan proceeds. This statement established my position as a true owner, acting only in administrative capacity, right? So the terms of satisfaction is an alternative settlement, the release of title, and waiver of conditional claims. And we're going to request for confirmation here. Now, we can offer this, and me personally, I would do this and as well as do the notice of adequate assurance at the same time. Because it's like either you're going to prove to me all of this stuff that I'm asking you for, or you're going to accept this payment as accord to satisfaction, and we're done. And if they don't send you the instruments back, now listen to me. They can't cash your check and then turn around and send you, they can't cash the money order and then try to turn around and send you the amount of money back in their own form of instrument. They would literally have to send back the same exact instrument to you. If they do not, they are full acceptance of it, they cash it, and it's done. Right? All right. All right. So, y'all ready for the giveaway? Yes, I'm going to show how to do it July the 26th. At this class, for sure. All right. So what I'm going to do today for you guys is this. Our trust administration class. Today, the discount moves up to $160. But there's more involved in this. So with the trust administration class that we're going to have this coming Saturday, the regular price is $200 for live stream, $250 for in person. I'm going to bring those down. Okay? And we're just going to say at $160 today, whether you're in person or live stream. Totally up to you. We're going to be at Fort Walton Beach, Florida, near Destin, Florida. All right, so I'll show you guys in a minute. But you're also going to be able to get the mastering lawsuit class, okay, and the foreclosure, defend, and conquer class today with this. All right, and I'm also going to add in it the promissory notes that you can create, as well as the accord of satisfaction, and also, what was the other one? The other one that I had with it, okay? I'm going to put those with it for you guys that get this today. And to the rest of you guys, it will definitely be in the trust administration class regardless, but it's going to be done a little bit different for sure. So I'm going to give that to you guys today at the purchase of this, right? So you're going to get that. Now, mind you, private administration class come with this class and asset protection. So that's literally like 4 classes that you're receiving for the purchase of one and a few extra templates that will be given to you. So you got the private administration class and the asset protection class. That'll be given to you the day of the class. But mastering lawsuit and the defend and conquer, you can receive those today upon your payment of $150. So literally, for those of you that don't know, here's what you can do. And I'm gonna make sure y'all stay here. Don't go nowhere so you can get in the free class too. Trust administration, as you can see. Screenshot this and do everything that you see here, but send an email. All right, second line to the bottom. All right, second to last line in the bottom, right? admin@ingodwetrustacademy.org. Send an email so you can be added to the email list and say discount 160, okay? Discount 160. You got 24 hours. So this time tomorrow, 12 o'clock is when it will end. All right? This is what you get a chance to do. All right? Same thing for this class. This is August the 9th. Hidden ledgers. Teaching you about deposits and how to gain equity in those deposits that you have. Same situation. If you want this class as well, then discount 160 at admin@ingodwetrustacademy.org. Put hidden ledger or trust administration for the class that you want. Now, this class has declaration of trust and how to build your own 508c1a. It's coming with that too. So that's 2 free classes for this one too. All right. Trust me, those classes are literally in all. If I was to charge you for all those classes, it'd be about $1,000, maybe $1,200 for them. So you're getting a very huge discount. So please do that as well. This is your opportunity now. Now, also, free class. Let's get to the free class. Free. Everybody like free. Let's do free. In God We Trust Academy Work Session Season 7 starts tomorrow, guys, at 6 p.m. Central Time. And these are free classes. So if you want to be new attendees and able to join, then get here with us now. Email us, admin@ingodwetrustacademy.org, and say, hey, I want to join work sessions. These are free. We're going to do these every Monday and Wednesday. Okay? So, rocking with me, you're going to get more free stuff than anything than you ever do have to pay for something. And usually my classes that I've done, I've already kind of really taught them. It's just, was you paying attention? And sometimes people want more special attention, and that's cool. We can do those too. But here you go. Here's your opportunity. Okay? And yes, we win over here because everything is done according to the letter of law. If they can't show it to you in law, it does not exist. Everything that I spoke to you today about was in law. And I can show it to you. I can prove it to you. I can show you I've done it. I can show you many others I've taught that has done it. Okay? So that's not the thing. The main thing is this, and this is what y'all need to know. Messing with me, I'm going to give you so much information that is crazy. You're going to get a lot. Yes, it's a lot. I understand it's a lot. I've been doing this for 11 years. I've been reading and writing and doing all kind of stuff. So, yes, I know it is a lot of information. But however, I got you directly pinpointed to the information that you need for the remedy and situation that you want to have. But it's totally up to you to operate. It's totally up to you to do it. It's totally up to you to start and take control of your own life in this matter. I can't do it for you. I can only give it to you. That's just like me giving you a bucket of water. I cannot drink it for you. Only you can drink it. So you have to do it yourself. If this is not something that you're interested in and you don't want to do the work, you don't want to read, you don't want to do this, then, hey, this is not the place for you because we're definitely going to hold you accountable to take care of you. That's what we do. All right. Now, am I going to show you? Absolutely. And there's nothing I'm not going to show you that I either wouldn't do for myself or haven't done, or I'm not going to do that. It's going to be something that I've actually done for myself, do for others as well. You will never receive anything from me that I'm not willing to do first because I will always go first. So I'm going to do it and test the methods and everything before you do. That's just how I move. I like to be accurate. I like to make sure that we're right. and we're adjusting our terms in operation. Without it, well, other than that, the rest of it, y'all come and tell me all kind of stuff all the time. But my question is okay, show it to me in law. And that's it. That's the only question I have, because I can go and read and gain understanding for myself. Just show me where you're coming from in law. That's it. Everything else is simple for me. Right? Comprehension is easy pretty much. If you just know what the terms and the meaning of the words, everything else falls in line. Right? So I'll be back on here again and around what time is it? 12:30? Probably I'm gonna try to 3:30, 4 o'clock. Got my fam, so we about to go do some couple things. We got to go get this car and everything to be able to drive to, because I don't drive my cars nowhere, no long distance. I don't like putting miles on my stuff, but I like to put miles on other people's stuff. So I'm finna go get me a rental car today so I can put miles on their cars and be ready for Florida. We will be there Thursday. So from Thursday to Monday, we in Florida. So I will catch you guys there. If not, I will catch you online for sure. But don't miss these opportunities of everything that I have showed you today. It's up to you to be able to take advantage of these classes, the free classes, especially work sessions. We will be here. So even if you don't catch me nowhere but on the platform that you're looking at right now, but work sessions will be a little different. Okay, so in order for you to be able to see and do certain things, then you're going to have to be able to be a part of joining of our services, right? That's what you're going to have to do. Will I come to VA? We will sponsor. Absolutely, I'll come to VA. Let's set it up. Hit me up. Let's set up the date. Let's set up the time. All love. I just like proper preparation, pretty much. Everything to be beautiful. And I ain't never been let down by somebody that has offered that to me. So I feel like you would definitely do me great. And I would also do the same in delivering what I have to do in my obligations. But for sure, let's just set it up. Hit me up and let's pick a date and let's hop on it. For sure. For sure. All right, guys. Again, 3:30. If this your first time seeing me, subscribe, like, hey, and make sure you hear it the next time. If anything that you guys want to talk about, send me something, man. Send me something. What y'all want to get into? I do it all. I don't care what it is. We can talk about from traffic tickets to lawsuits, child support, to child protective services, name it. Whatever situation y'all got going on in the terms of lawful situations, etc., we gonna talk about it. Charge-offs, that's easy. Charge-offs are the same, easy too. But see, let me tell you something about charge-off. If somebody has the right to declare a charge-off, that means they also should have the right to show proof that they have the original note. That's the only way I attack anything, guys. Applications of denials, yeah, we got an ebook on that. I'll talk about that too. But that's the only way I attack anything. Man, anything on that credit report, man, tell Experian to prove, you need to do a full investigation and tell this company to prove they have delegation of authority to show proof that they have the original note. If you have not done so, then that means you are literally here making fraudulent claims. And you haven't done your full investigation, which means now that you are a party of a conspiracy here to cause harm, irreparable harm to me. Guess what they do? Delete. Every single time. Now all I got to do, because now anytime they delete something off of your report, guess what? Especially if you tried to go get some credit and was denied, that's a lawsuit. Get you some money. It's pretty much up to $1,000 almost for every defense that they do. So go get you some money. You can look at your credit report and probably rack up about $7,000, $8,000 if you look at it right. Absolutely. So, yeah, we'll come back and talk about that. We'll come back and talk about denials and charge-offs and stuff like that. Just, on the credit side for y'all a little bit. So I'll see y'all here, we'll say 3 to 4 hours from now, and I'll see y'all. So maybe 3:30, 4:30, somewhere off in there. All right? Y'all have a great day if I don't see the rest of y'all.